Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 24, Worshipping Govardhan Hill, Text 7 and 8. Tatra tavat kriya yogo bhavantam kim vicharitaha atha va lokikas tan me prechatah sadhu manyantam tatra tavat kriya yogo bhavantam kim vicharitah athava lokikastan me prechatah sadhu bhanyatam tatra tavat kriya yogo bhavantam kim vicharitah athava lokikastan me prechatah sadhu bhanyatam tatra tavat kriya yogo bhavatam kim vicharitah अतः वा लौकिकास्तन में पृच्छतः साधु भन्यताम् तत्र तावत् क्रिया योगो भवतां किं विचारितः तन्मे तत्र तावत् क्रिया योगो भवतां किं विचारितः अथवा लौकिकास्तन में पृच्छतः साधु भन्यताम् तत्र तावत् क्रिया योगो भवतां किं विचारितः अथवा लौकिकास्तन में पृच्छतः साधु भन्यताम्. Ladies, तत्र तावत् क्रिया योगो विचारितः अथवा स्तन में पृच्छतः साधु भन्यताम् तत्र तावत् योगो भवतां किं विचारितः अथवा लौकिकास्तन में पृच्छतः साधु भन्यताम् तत्र तावत्, that being the case, kriya yogo, this fruitive endeavor, bhavatam, of yours, kim, whether, vicharitah, learned from the scriptures, athava, or else, lokika, of ordinary custom, tat, that, may, to me, pritchatah, who am inquiring, sadhu, clearly, bhanyatam, it should be explained. Translation: such being the case, this ritualistic endeavor of yours should be clearly explained to me. Is it a ceremony based on scriptural injunction or simply a custom of ordinary society? Take the next one also. Sri Nanda Uvacha Parjanyo Bhagavanindro Meghastasmatma Murtayah Te Abhivarshanti Bhutanam Priyanam Jivanam Payah. And the Maharaj replied, the great Lord Indra is the controller of the rain. The clouds are his personal representatives, and they directly provide rainwater, which gives happiness and sustenance to all creatures. Purport. Without clean rainwater, the earth could not possibly provide food or drink for anyone, nor could there be cleanliness. Thus it would be difficult to overestimate the value of rain. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Tam Savadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari No Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna. We are blessed that again we have this chance to recount the beautiful stories and the pastimes of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. The most exalted of all cantos, the 10th canto, which in itself, that Srimad Bhagavatam is itself the crown jewel of all the scriptures, and in that also this Govardhan Leela is so very special and dear to everybody. As Srinathji Prabhu was saying previous class, that Govardhan has appeared from the heart of Krishna. That makes Govardhan itself very such a special personality, such a special entity, such a special event, such a special story. What is the value of something coming from Krishna's own heart? Krishna himself is so special, extraordinarily special person. Krishna is the supreme person. And something which is in the core of his heart, there cannot be anything more special than that, because all the special things are in your heart. What is in your heart? All that is very dear to you is in your heart. Right? So, Govardhan was residing, and it is born. The birth of Govardhan is Krishna's own beautiful heart. Of course, not like a fleshy heart like ours, which pumps 72 times in a minute. That is not Krishna. He doesn't have a muscular heart. He has a heart which is a place within his existence where all that is very dear to him resides. Practically his whole body is his heart. His whole body is his heart. It is not a small organ, not an organic concept. Nonetheless, of course, Govardhana is coming from that part of Krishna's existence. So, it is very special. And here, the purport is very small, just 2-line purport. So, they are just saying that the authors want us to remember the value of rain. Right? I said the value of rain cannot be overestimated. And that's a fact, of course. It is obvious for everyone that, as more and more time goes by, and as more and more man becomes estranged from his own nature, as man becomes more and more oblivious of his divinity and the very purpose of his life, and starts living unnatural life forms, unnatural lifestyles, then the most natural things also will be taken away from him. Because he is unnatural, unnatural things will happen around him. If you are natural, if you lead a natural life, the natural things will happen around you. But if humanity as a whole mass, the whole civilization, prefers to live a lifestyle which is contrary to what he is expected to live as per the ordained law of the Creator, then obviously things will be unnatural around him. And we need to understand that already in Kali Yuga things are extremely unnatural. And one of the most unnatural things will happen to this world, and is already happening, is there will be a scarcity of rain. This is predicted. Of course, this season we may feel we are over-flooded with rain. This season we feel that a lot of rain is there. When will it stop? We already exceeded 250 inches, I think so, in Mumbai. Right? But it wasn't a very healthy rain, very destructive. So, Srila Prabhupada has predicted that as time goes by, because rain ultimately is not just a mechanical event which happens because of low pressure in the clouds, as we would like to be told by our modern science in our geography classes. We have all learnt in maybe in 8th standard or something, I don't know where. But the low pressure created in this monsoon time, a low pressure actually allows the water vapor condenses and then it falls as droplets. Something like that, I've forgotten now, but something like that. It all depends on pressure. But when you think of the miracle of rain itself, it is so beautiful. Now, we want to store water in this world, you have to have huge tanks. Right? The place where I was staying earlier, in our clinic, Shantinagar, there's a huge tank of several thousands and lakhs of gallons of water. It's a huge place, several story high, and there's a huge tank there. You see all this all over the place. Right? So much effort is required to construct a huge tank to supply the city or a particular area of the city. Right? Huge reservoirs to be created above, so that from that high pressure, then it goes through all the pipes and then various like that. Or every building has to have a huge tank above, correct, to nourish all the flats which are within that building. What technology is required? Technology to build a skyscraper building is very difficult. We have 7-8 skyscrapers now around us in this hospital, in this temple. I'm wondering how they can make something so big. And there's a tank above that also. It's pump water from below up. But look at the miracle of Krishna. Everything happens, huge reservoirs of water, and they're floating. Now we don't see any tanks floating. They have to have, but you can have 100 million times more water in each cloud, and it can defy gravity. Right? Is it not wonderful? That you have 100 million gallons of water per cloud, and cloud is still just going like this. It's just floating around as if it is a weightless structure. It is experiencing weightlessness in the midst of millions of gallons of water, where even this glass cannot float, into it is just 200 ml of water. We cannot do that. I cannot defy gravity. Right? That is miracle of Krishna. So, Krishna has created everything so wonderful, so perfect. There is a triangular, practically relationship between the rain and the sun and the trees. It's a triangular relationship. Interdependency is there. There cannot be rain without the sun, and there cannot be rain without even the presence of trees. Why do deserts get less rain? Not because they don't have, because there are no clouds floating over the deserts. Clouds are floating everywhere, no? Why does a desert not get rain? It should get rain because there is a cloud, several clouds above the desert also. But there are no trees to attract the rain. There is a magnetic force, practically. The clouds are personalities and they get attracted to where there is forestation. The more we do deforestation, the less there is attraction of rains to that area. So in this way there is a, as man is cutting down more and more jungles, how much millions of hectares of this world have become deserts now. I was reading this book called Nature. There's an international magazine called Nature when I was undergraduate several years ago, and I was seeing a picture. I think it was a scanning picture from, this is something 20, 25, 30 years back, and they were explaining how millions of hectares of this world have become desert. They were showing the previous pictures of something what was like a few decades ago and what is now. So much of desert. So like that, the more and more we go away from nature, even the basic amenities, as its purport says here, rain is our sustenance. And it is required for happiness. Right? So our sustenances are not our mobiles. It's not our computers. We cannot imagine one day today without our mobile. Can you imagine one day that your mobile is not with you, or you lost it? Someone, more often is stolen than lost. You lost it or it was stolen, and one day you don't have your precious mobile in your pocket. What happens to your life? You feel that I will die. You feel choked. You feel paralyzed. You feel dysfunctional. You feel defunct. So we have become so artificially dependent on all these gadgets. But actually, as it says here, we depend on the rain. Basic thing is rain. And nobody is farming today. So, you can see Krishna himself is agriculturist. Krishna is agriculturist. He's a covered boy. He's not sitting on the PC. What's happening in Bhuloka, what's happening in, trying to figure out, different places, whatever, different stations and all. No. He's just having a stick in his hand. Right? So Krishna is leading most natural life. He's a coward boy, barefooted, walking to the muck of Vrindavan, just like some of our devotees do in Vada farm. Right? So, but you see today's artificial lifestyle where practically even the farmers' sons and daughters are not doing farming. So we can expect worse things to happen. No matter what government comes, people are talking about government nowadays, right? So we need a change. We need to change the people who are there at the helm of affairs. But no matter who comes, things will not change so much. Because of the ways of life are so sinful. So anyway, while we are getting the rains, let's be grateful that is there. And we're getting our share of food to eat. As Prabhupada said, you cannot eat nuts and bolts. So powerful, right? Who can eat nuts and bolts? And you can only eat wafer chips, but you cannot eat microchips. Wafer chips is very Lays and peppy and all that, right? Tasty. Of course, it contains toxic substances. Don't eat that. But everyone likes to have fried wafers was offered to us last festival in the evening, right? Janmashtami, right? But microchips who can eat? Nobody can eat microchips. So we need to be grateful for that. So basically the Brijvasis are involved in this whole beautiful activity as an act of gratitude. I mean, they just love Krishna. They just love Krishna. And we have seen through so many stories in the past that the love for Krishna is so exclusive and so overwhelming and so wholesome, that they just love Krishna. That's it. There's nothing more in their life than Krishna. Then, we wonder why these people worshipping Govardhan Hill. I mean, what's the need? And like we are taught now that you should always only Krishna. Then why a demigod like that? Why would a pure devotee of like Nanda Maharaj worship Govardhan, worship Indra? Pure devotees are not supposed to worship anybody like that. But they're just such nice people. They're just such a good people. So they want to express their gratitude to somebody who is giving them. It is just gratitude to Indra. It's not that they're really taking shelter of Indra. But they're just nice people. They want to act for gratitude. Somebody did something good to you, a good person, especially of course a devotee, but then in any case, any good person would just be feeling just grateful. Oh, thank you for giving me this thing, I just need this so badly and you've just given it to me and I'm just so happy and thank you very much. So it's just basically a thanksgiving ceremony. So we don't have to really dissect into the analysis of all that. It's just nice people. So they're just doing this as an act of gratitude. Because gratitude is so important in our life. Right? Every devotee, whether you're Brijvasi or not, Brijvasi on the highest platform of devotion. But we can see the higher you go, there is more and more of these virtuous qualities being exhibited. They're just so grateful to Indra. And you're not doing a small puja with a small havan and like that, just to keep a little bit, just to pass it like a placebo and just please them. It's a very elaborate thing. It's a huge thing. The whole village is involved and there are tons of prasad being made to offer Indra. So it's a very genuine effort being made to please Indra. It is actually not a make-believe or a show or just a facade. It's actually feeling good about Indra. We are agriculturists. We need grass, and we have our main wealth is not our cash. Our main wealth is our cows, godhan, right? And for this godhan, they need this green grass everywhere, and these fruits and this and that, and the milk, of course, coming from the cows. They're just so grateful, and everything depends on the rain. So Indra, here it is all. It's for you. Thank you very much. It's basically just one word, thank you. The whole Indra Puja is just another way of saying thank you. That's all it is, right? So this is the virtue of gratitude. And it is such a beautiful virtue. Gratitude. So beautiful. Nowadays the scientific people, in the scientific circles are very, very, science is growing. Science is growing and it is not any more mechanistic science, but even the non-mechanistic sciences are growing. And the non-mechanistic approach of science is nice because it gives us objective evidence to the fact of all those virtues which are practiced by practicing spiritualists gain more authoritative evidence from scientific mouths. Right? I mean, the whole world is here to just simply, the gods are nowadays the scientists, right? Is it not? The gods are the scientists. What they say is truth. What scripture says is maybe true. But once they say it, yeah. See, even the Gita says that. So it's not like that. For a devotee, it's not like that. That scientist is saying it. Even Gita is saying it, so it must be true. No. Gita is saying it, but that they say it or not, I don't care. That's a devotee's faith. Our primary faith is not in the scientist. Our primary faith is in the word, the gospel truth coming from Krishna. If Krishna is absolute truth, His word is absolute truth. If Krishna is unchangeable, His word is unchangeable. If Krishna is supremely real, the knowledge also here is very real. Right? So we do not need a satellite in the sky to tell us that there was a bridge made across to Lanka. We don't need that evidence. When I heard about it, I said, so what? When I heard about it for the first time, there was a bridge. Oh, they saw the bridge. You see, they can see it. Even now it is Treta Yuga, but they can see it. It is under the sea. And when we actually went to that place, we could see some rocks are still there. The other day when Gurudev took us there, we could see some rocks are still coming out from that place, from the bottom of that Indian Ocean. So this is the floats. These stones were floating, and then the Lord, of course, at Dhanushkodi, he cut it, and then the bridge then sank because the purpose was served. Otherwise, nasty guys would keep coming from Lanka to India and India to Lanka, like that, So then, Krishna said, now the purpose is done. Ho gaya, kam ho gaya. Cut it, sank, finished. It is there, of course. But we don't need the photographs to believe it was there. If Valmiki says it is just enough. We do not want scientific evidence. If it comes, well, yeah, it's okay. They are lucky they found it. They are lucky they understand it now. But from the more objectivity point of view, even as I said, this virtue of gratitude is being understood now as being very important in people's lives. They did an experiment. There is one gentleman called as Dr. Emmons. He was a world authority on gratitude. He wrote a book called Thanks, and then something like that. Living a happier life with thanks, something like that. So they did several experiments, and they interviewed so many people, thousands of people, and they found that when people practice this virtue of gratitude, there are so many benefits which come with that. It is interesting, they have actually analyzed the value of forgiveness, the value of gratitude, and they are trying to understand. One of our biggest scientists of our movement is Swarup Damodar Goswami Maharaj, Sripad, Prabhupada's disciple, scientist disciple from Manipur. And he was saying that the governments of America and other places are spending millions of dollars nowadays. Do you know for what? They spend for so many things. But they're spending lots of money to understand this value of humility. One of the biggest scientific research is in this quality of humility. Now for the devotees, like more or less comes just naturally, right? Maybe no, but maybe you have to cultivate that. No, maybe we have to cultivate that. I mean, the external stance of humility just comes in naturally. You bow down, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Dandavat, Prabhu. That comes a little naturally, automatically by being just with people who are just saying that all the time around you. But the actual internal humility of the heart, which means exclusive dependence and gratitude to Krishna, is something which comes, I'm sure, after eons, millennium. It doesn't come so soon. It is a gift of Krishna. It cannot be bought in the market. But the fact is that they did this experiment on gratitude. And he says that there is something called as happiness set point. That's what they say. That there is a particular level where generally it's a predetermined state of existence, where you are at most of the time. That you are at a particular level of happiness. Everyone has this level, correct? So you are at a particular level. It's like a baseline. It's like the most time you are there. And something happens to you, you become sad, you miss the train, or you failed in an exam, you just go down. But again you bounce back to your pre-existing level. Or you got a promotion, or you got a nice prasad plate, whatever, or whatever happened, and you go high, and then again that experience over, then you go back. So you tend to go up and down the baseline, but you have a predetermined set, what they call as a happiness set line. Right? That's what the experiments they understood objectively. And they found that simply for those people who are grateful, that their happiness set point is 25% above the normal. They just tend to be naturally happy people. So then they said, okay, how do you do this? So they said, okay, they made 3 control groups. 3 groups. The one group was supposed to just register, make a diary, write down all the events in your life. Good, bad, they were not told anything, just good and bad. Just write down. Today this happened, was good, this happened, was bad, and this was good, and this was bad. So they have what we call as a diary of events for the whole day, and then kept it for a particular while, 3 months, something, whatever. And then somebody else, the second group, was keeping a diary of those people who are just the good events which took place, like that. And third group was supposed to keep a diary of the writing things which happened in their life for which they were grateful for. Right? And they kept it for 3 months, and they found that actually the people that in the last group who were just grateful, who were oriented towards gratitude, had a whole lot of list of benefits which came to them. Right? There's sense of overfilling of well-being. They were more happier, they were less depressed, they were more focused to life's goals. They could resist challenges of the outside world more strongly. They had larger immunity in their body to resist disease. Right? So, and there are a whole lot of other things which came about from that experiment. So that shows that gratitude is a very important quality to nurture. It's a very important quality to nurture in our lives. If you just go a little deeper to the subject of gratitude, and like to, because we as practicing devotees, aspiring devotees, would like to, emulate and follow those set of virtues which enhance our appreciation for bhakti that which we have received. Right? Without cultivating these corroborative, supportive virtues, we will not be able to truly reap the fullest richness of bhakti. Right? You're given a great plate of prasad, luscious, tasty prasad. But if you have a very strong common cold, then it takes away all your olfactory senses. You can't really get the taste so well. Right? Is it not? Swad nahi aa raha hai. Right? So along with the facility for eating the food, along with the food, you also need the facility to appreciate the food which you're eating. And some people have a zinc deficiency in their body. And they go into, it's called as ajusia. It means tastelessness. They can't taste food because there is zinc deficiency. Right? So then you give a lot of zinc to them and then the taste buds start developing. And as you grow old, your taste buds got, many old people come to say, Doctor Sahab, taste nahi aa raha hai khane ka, aajkal. The Bahu is preparing nice food for them, but Doctor Sahab, taste nahi aa raha hai, kya kuch, hai kya, tonic bonic kuch. So then you look into the mouth, all the taste buds have atrophied. As you grow old, if you look behind the tongue, the posterior 1/3, right, then there are taste buds there, big taste buds, big ones, right? And they get atrophied. So then maybe the food is sitting on the tongue, but it is not experienced. Because there is no taste bud to really, there are no nerve endings there to experience the taste. Right? The nerve endings are gone, because, you were smoking or tobacco or whatever was there, you just knocked them off. So, like that. So definitely, similarly like that, we have been offered by His Divine Grace, our previous acharyas sitting on the altar. They have preserved for us this great wealth of Shuddha Bhakti that has come down from millennium. At least for the last 5,000 years it is there and much before. And it has been preserved in its pristine sanctity. The purest, the highest, the most lofty things which the spiritual world can offer to this world of matter have been preserved. Like you have preservatives in this world, right? Preservatives which preserve the shelf life of things, right? Imagine preserving something for 5,000 years. Now, which product can last for 5,000 years? No, anything in flour. Nothing can last for 5,000 years. The shirt, nothing lasts so long. But we have something so pure, lasting for 5,000 long years. Things have changed so rapidly. In 10 years, things change, right? The world changes in 10 years. Nothing gets preserved. Values are gone and everything is going. Relationships get broken, changed. Imagine preserving anything in this world for 5,000 years. Right? But the parampara, when Prabhupada was asked this question, what is the technology for preserving spiritual knowledge? There's a technology, right? Everything is a technique, everything is a technology. Prabhupada's answer was parampara. Parampara is Krishna's technology. A personalized technology. It is not a machine-based technology. When you say technology means you think it's a machine. Something preserves, data is preserved somewhere, in a file or in a whatever. What is that called? I don't know what it's called. Somewhere in the memory, it is all there. But Krishna's technology is to preserve what he spoke 5,000 years ago in its purest form, unchanged, the technology of parampara. So we're getting all that. Even today in Kali Yuga, nothing is pure. By the time even a tomato it comes from, everything comes to your altar, nothing is preserved. Everything is doomed. Everything is changed. By the time it comes to your table, everything is changed. The taste, the color, the content, the nutritional value, everything is changed. But something is preserved so long. So then anyway, the point is that the gratitude we need to have for getting something so pure. Right? So we need to cultivate as practicing devotees, not to accept the devotion which we have been offered as a ready-made commodity. We will not be able to reap the actual benefits of practicing bhakti. If you're practicing bhakti, you are chanting Hare Krishna, you're going to the temple, you're reading Srimad Bhagavatam class, you're reading your books of Gita and Bhagavat and whatever else, and you're doing your deity worship. You can do all these things, but you cannot reap the fullest benefit unless we have the virtues which go along with that. The virtues are the ones which give a conscious experience of what you are actually doing from within your heart. Unless you really have those virtues, it will become absolutely mechanical. We will go in a robotic fashion on the altar and change Krishna's dress and put a new one. It will become robotic practically. But there won't be the heart. And Krishna is not going to look at what type of turban you have made for him today. He's going to look at what is the state of your heart when you're making his turban. Right? He's looking only at your heart and not looking at the jewelry we are putting on him. And he's not looking at your 16 rounds either. Looking at the state of your heart while chanting those 16 rounds. So unless we have those strong supportive virtues which we develop, nurture in our lives, we can make a complete flop of our bhakti. Because that sort of bhakti will not transform our consciousness. Or very minimally if at all. Very minimally if at all. Therefore here through this Brijvasi example of gratitude toward Indra, we can take this lesson today from our, in our lives of gratitude. Because gratitude makes the heart porous. Please remember, we have been given a great gift. That gift is the Bhakti Lata Bij. The adhikar to serve Krishna. Bhakti Lata Bij is the adhikar. Everybody in this material world has no adhikar. He has lost the adhikar to serve Krishna. But the fact that he disobeyed and rebelled, he loses the adhikar. But to regain that adhikar, to go into bhakti, you need the special privilege card of the Bhakti Lata Bij, which comes from the spiritual masters and from the empowered representatives. Once you receive that in your heart, then you have to work more on your heart than on the Bhakti Lata Bij. The Bij is here and it is going to grow. But the Bij is going to ripen into the mature fruit of Krishna Prem. It will, it must. Because there's the power in that seed. It's such a powerful seed. It's not a seed like this, like a mango seed or something, which can get destroyed. It will grow into this, it will bear fruit of love for Krishna. It will. If you have received it, it will happen. But when it happens, will depend how much we work on our heart, on the environment of our heart. So it is there that these virtues are acting like manures into the heart. And they enrich the soil of our heart and make it fertile. The more fertile is the heart, the more luxuriantly will the roots of the bleach grow into deeper and deeper and deeper. As the roots go deeper, what is happening is the Shraddha is becoming deeper. Right? What is it? When you say I have deep faith, or he has deep faith in Krishna, means he has the roots of bhakti are deep into the soil of his heart, and they're deep into his consciousness. And they cannot be rocked off by a strong whirlwind of doubt or suspicion or some events in life which can really shake you up. Even as terrible as the Pandavas or something happening in so many devotees' lives which are just so earth-shaking, but their Shraddha is so rock solid. Now here we will see eventually, we won't go into that into detail today because it's subsequent verses, but we will see what happens when they change their minds to worship Indra. Something terrible happened in their lives. They are going to be killed en masse, slaughtered. The whole village, all property, all life, all existence, everything in their very life was going to be destroyed because they put their faith in Krishna's words. But you find something very significant in this story, and there are 100 million lessons to learn from the story. One of which comes up is that they never complained thereafter. Look at this Krishna. You know what nonsense? What nonsense you told us to do this stuff, right? We did this thing because you told us, and look at what's happening to our life. I mean, you should not have believed you in the first place. We are also, humko bhi akal nahi hai sabko. We should have not listened to you because you're a small child, and we give so much importance in life always, and we suffer because of that. Everything goes wrong, terribly wrong. We cannot imagine the hailstorm there. There's no video clipping of that to see what was the hailstorm of Indra. When the power of Samvartaka is acting on a small piece of land of 84 kos only, what is supposed to destroy the whole universe, is acting in a concentrated manner to destroy 84 kos tract of land. Now, what is that? It was hell. It was the worst type of hell. But they were always grateful to Krishna. Right? They were always grateful to Krishna for whatever was happening in their life. Right? So in this way, this quality of gratitude, when we will see that as the Brajavasi's faith is so strong, and it cannot be uprooted. It cannot be uprooted. So gratitude acts as an element which acts like an earthworm. Earthworm? Gandul kheti, they call it. Gandul kheti. Gandul kheti? Gandul kheti means you put a lot of earthworms into the soil. And then they burrow. Earthworms' quality is to burrow. They keep on burrowing. And they go. And they eat the mud. And they have their droppings. Their droppings are very fertile. Very fertile. And it creates avenues for the roots to actually grow, because the earth is very solid, the roots will not grow. But the earthworms are, you used to read, remember, friends of the farmer, right? Earthworms, friend of the farmer, right? And nowadays there are many people who are practicing organic farming. They just don't use manures at all. They put 100 million, maybe gandul in their farm, right? And then they do all the work of making everything. So gratitude acts like the earthworm. It makes our heart porous. It makes our heart soft. Lack of gratitude makes us hard-hearted. And gratitude makes our heart soft-hearted. So you can imagine how important is gratitude in our life. Hard-hearted means that we would take all the gifts of God, which are unlimited actually. We sit with a pad and a pen and write down, what are the gifts of God in my life? What will be the list going to? What will you say? What are you going to be grateful for? The list is unlimited, right? The list is really unlimited. There is an explanation for this given. It's that if you want to be grateful for something, then try and do this. Just close your eyes and sit down. Meditate. That you lost your eye. You lost your power to speak. You lost your power to breathe. You can't move. Your legs are paralyzed. You lost power for movement. You lost your power for digestion. You lost power to pass stool. Constipation, very big problem. Some of the most common things people come to us for is constipation. Can't pass stool properly. The urologist can't pass urine properly. Big problem. So just close your eyes and see what things, if they're taken away from you, how would you feel? You can't hear. Suddenly you become deaf. People are speaking around you, they're shouting around you. I can't hear anything. My ears are there, but I can't hear. These faculties are just drawn away from you. You go blind. That is called amaurosis fugax. You become blind. Both eyes. Suddenly. And experience that within your heart. The loss of these gifts of God. And you meditate again on the things coming back to you. I got my eyes back. I can speak. Oh, I can hear again. I can walk. That is a deep meditation on the exercise of cultivating gratitude. What will the blind man not do to get back his eyes? What will he not do? He will go to any pillar, he will go to any ophthalmologist, go to any place, get to any Baba, any Tantric, Mantrik, Bengali Baba, or whoever is there. 24 ghante mein problem solve. What a fools, and they want us to believe all that nonsense. I'm sure there are some fools who believe them, of course, also. That's why they are thriving. There are a lot of fools in this world. Do some bhabhuti or whatever and put it in your eyes and, ho jayega tumhara, theek ho jayega. What will you not do to get your eyes? Your both kidneys are spoiled. Millions of people in this world are on dialysis machine. What will they not do to get a kidney? I want a kidney. I'm willing to pay $1 million for this, but there are no people who are going to donate their kidneys. There's some dead man who falls down from the airplane and they remove his kidney and store it somewhere and give it to somebody else. Some cadaveric kidney. Right? So these things are gifts of God. Ask asthmatic, what will he not do to breathe properly? The asthmatic fellow, poor fellow, when he goes into an environment of strong allergy and his lungs get choked. The lungs are there. It's not that he's lungless. The lungs are there, but there's no air in those lungs. And it is a terrible feeling. He thinks he will die. You get a sinking feeling. Air hunger. Without oxygen, 3 minutes you live without oxygen, the brain gets fired. Hypoxic death. So he will go to the emergency cabin and say, do something, I'm choking up. And then they put machine and then they put injections and steroid, this, that, something. After half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours. And sometimes they go into what is called a status asthmaticus, where they for hours together they will not be able to breathe. And they have to put on the ventilator machine sometimes. Ask asthmatic what he will not do to get rid of that disease. People like us who are breathing, some people here may be asthmatics, but people like us who are breathing, did we ever feel grateful that we are able to breathe? That are able to see, that are able to chew? Even if you can have saliva in your mouth, it's a blessing. People go to the doctors for dry mouth. Dry mouth. There is no saliva in the mouth. The saliva glands are for some reason knocked off, atrophied. If you have a dry mouth, it's a horrible existence. It may not be, you may think, cancer is very bad, and heart attack is very bad, and AIDS is, of course, a very bad disease. But even a dry mouth can be very terrible. You just don't have saliva, you can't speak. The fact that we are speaking is because the tongue is getting lubricated by the saliva. Imagine a dry tongue, a wood-like tongue, dry. It won't move into your mouth. It'll be just there. And the food we eat, a lot of taste, because the taste is because there is saliva. The aromatic substance in the food dissolves in the saliva. The saliva then comes in contact with the taste buds, and the nerve endings are stimulated, and then you get a feeling of taste within your in your brain, the taste center. But if you don't have saliva, you cannot taste your food. The best food, the best pizzas, or what are that? Ghebarban dosas from our best of cooks of Govinda. Any Ghebarban dosa, whatever it is, you cannot taste it if there's no saliva. A dry mouth, a dry eye is terrible. It hurts. It hurts. Dry eye. Even the small lacrimal gland in your eye, which is secreting tears all the time, keeping your eye, that's why we blink. We blink because, the tear glands have to, keep the surface area moist. That's why you keep on blinking unconsciously. If you can't blink, you have a dry eye, it's a big problem. Suppose eye remains open only all the time. Oh, Jagannath is a special person. Jagannath says he's not supposed, he's the only person who doesn't blink. It's like he's amazed about his devotees' activities. Wow, look at my devotees. Wow, look at the Brindvasis, He's just so amazed with the Brijvasis' love. He's like wide open eyes, he doesn't blink only. Eternally doesn't blink. Huh? But if you and I cannot imitate Jagannath, if we don't blink, you'll be terrible. A non-blinking eye is a terrible eye. It hurts. You will have ulcers in your cornea if you don't blink. Huh? So be grateful for even the lacrimal gland in your eye. That is gratitude. So in this way, when we enlist the things we need to be grateful for, we will be just so much. Gratitude brings you a sense of intimacy with God. A grateful heart feels more connected with God, with Krishna. And a non-grateful heart, is like a repelling force which takes you away from God. I think it's there in the Ramayana that the worst sinner in this world, the worst sin of this world is illicit sex is very bad. Killing the mother in the womb, the child in the womb is abortion. It's a terrible sin. Of course, these are all sins, terrible sins. But Ramchandra says, Lord Ramchandra is Dharmapati, he says that the worst sin actually is an ungrateful person. Ungrateful person. There's no sinner worse in Lord Ramchandra's eyes than an ungrateful person. Huh? Right? So, let us be conscious of all these gifts. One of the devotees in the Prabhupada Vyas Puja was making her offering. She said that how much things I have to be grateful to Srila Prabhupada for. Gratitude has a very important element. One of the important things happens when you cultivate gratitude is that you become more conscious of the good things you have, and you do not really become so conscious of the things you don't have. Right? That's a very important feature which happens automatically as a switch off mode when gratitude is there. Now we may have not so many things in our life, right? And I'm sure all of us are feeling, I need this and I need that, right? I wish I had better health, I wish I had better job, I wish I had better wife. Some of you, not me, but some of you may think like that. Some of you think, I had better mother-in-law. Some of you, I wish I had a better set of eyes, a better set of intelligence, or maybe I had better, beauty, a better hair than this. Everything people always say always something to look for, some desires, lots of desires are there. So that the whole life is geared towards fulfilling those desires. That's it. The whole focus of your consciousness is how to fulfill those deficiencies. And the richest man in the world, or especially the guy who's number 2 or number 3 or number 4, they want to become number 1. And the one guy who's become number 2, he knows that the second one is catching up with him, He's also struggling hard to become number 1. He's like pushing his selves to go higher and higher, so that he can come so far from the second one that he cannot in this life catch up with him. Like that. So then your focus is entirely on what you want to achieve and makes you completely oblivious of the things you have. But gratitude brings you in contact with the blessings you have now, here. So you do not really bother so much about what you don't have. It's such a beautiful thing to live by, this principle. That you're so happy with what you have, the abundance of what you have. One of the devotees was saying, Senior Vaishnava Prabhupada disciple was saying that, if you have given a plate of prasad and you have on that day a feast, the malpua and rabdi and kheer and dhokla and samosa and malpua, of course, and all these things are there on your plate. And he said, आचार नहीं है, आचार होता तो मजा आता था. पापा ने आचार होता था ना तो आचार देना चाहिए था उन लोग. भूल गया लगता है. So you have a whole feast of, 16-course meal or something like that, Mahaprasad on Prabhupada Parents Day, Nityan Trayodasi or whatever, Narsingh Trayodasi, some good place, or your Guru Maharaj's Vyas Puja, whatever it is. And they forgot to give you achar. And the mind thinking, she, na, ये सब मीठा हो गया, क्या थोड़ा तीखा भी होना चाहिए था. Like that. Look at our mind, it's so stupid. And if everything is given to you, you will see that, all the items come, the fellow comes and said, क्या है? दूसरा वाला आता है, क्या है? Put it here. And then that fellow comes and said, अच्छा, खत्म हो गया. So you got 15 things in your plate, but that one thing which he brought, and that I got over. Prabhuji, क्या है? खत्म हो गया, sorry. खत्म हो गया? ठीक है. You have a whole plate of full of prasad, and then one item which got over because they prepared less or somebody ate more, whatever happened. And that thing is over. So I have to live with the reality that I have only 15 things on my plate, and the 16 things which are the best thing I will not be having now. This is our mind. This is our mind. Yeah? Like that. So we have got a million things to be grateful for. Forget the devotional blessings. That is though a huge thing in itself. The gift of association of Vaishnavas, the pure scripture, such a beautiful temple, lots of temples to go to, all over ISKCON, all over the world, lots of books to read, and just nice people around us, just basic. Because what devotees are basically nice people. Everyone wants to have nice people around them, right? Of course, everyone wants to have a nice house to stay and maybe a nice car also and whatever else. But basically you want to have nice people around you. Now where can you get better people to be with than devotees? They may have some, this and that, some nature, which is, some style or doing. They may have some, particular type of idiosyncrasies, they call it. Idiosyncrasies. But basically devotees are nice people. They're nice guys. You like to be with them, They're not like hateful, violent. They're good natured, they're polite, they're courteous, they're good intended people, they're friendly, they like to oblige, they want to help, they want to assist. They're nice people. So that in itself is a great blessing. So those blessings we put aside, even otherwise we have so much to be grateful for. All these gifts of Krishna. So while we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are reading our scriptures and nurturing our bhakti, let us enrich our hearts with these beautiful virtues which make us conscious of the gifts of God. And as I said before, it brings us more intimately connected with God. And even then when things don't really go our way, because you already are feeling so wholesome within, you're just feeling so fulfilled within your heart, you'll not be feeling really so bad about the things when they go bad actually in your life. But already there is so much of sense of goodness prevailing in your heart. You just feel, it's okay, everything else is so nice. And sometimes things go bad, but that's the way of this world. Right? Wherever has God promised in bhakti that you will have a bed of roses. I know, every devotee has to go through his difficulties. Because it is during that gratitude, during those bad phases that the gratitude will be tested. Like every virtue has to be tested, correct? Every virtue given to you has to be tested. Before it is given to you in more, it will be tested. So when is going to be gratitude tested? When will Krishna give more, a higher dose of gratitude in your heart? When he or your karma, depends, People think, it's our karma. And some say, no, it's not karma. Krishna is doing it directly. Whatever the state of philosophical understanding may be. We won't get into that controversy. But when things go bad, karmically or by Krishna intervention, whatever it is, then we are going to be tested. Are we still grateful? When you have a terminal disease, are you grateful? One of our devotees, Kunti Mataji, attacked with cancer. This is all too common in our, in this material world. So even devotees, they eat the same food, breathe the same air. They have sattvic lifestyle, pure lifestyle, but still we get cancer because the air is not pure, the water is not pure, the food is not pure. So even devotees with sattva also can get cancer. It's not surprising. So she got cancer also, right? And it's a whole story, beautiful story of her life, very inspirational. But what struck me when I heard this particular part of her life is she was in terrible pain. As you know, cancer can become very painful when it goes to the bones and nerves. It is very, very painful. And she was getting severe pain. We all have seen about Bhaktivedanta Maharaj, the type of pain he had to go through. Oh, it's terrible. He was a tough man, tough African-American body, but he was rocked by pain, too much pain. But then the devotees would, so kind. Devotees are always kind people. They would come to her and they would read for her Srimad Bhagavatam. And as she was reading Srimad Bhagavatam to her, she exclaimed, that I am feeling that Srila Prabhupada is personally sitting next to me right now and reading the Bhagavatam to me. And I'm feeling that I'm sitting on the bank of the Jamuna and hearing Sukadeva Goswami speak. And that inner experience of actually experiencing the words. It is not just the words of the Bhagavatam, the lines, but experience the content in a very conscious manner. It wasn't just the vibrations of the word, Krishna this, Krishna that, like that, but actually experiential spirituality. So experiencing the nectar of Bhagavatam in its actual reality. Beyond time and space, she was sitting somewhere, maybe I don't know where, in America, but beyond, Bhagavatam is beyond time and space. So beyond time and space, she could feel that she is participating in the dialogue of Srimad Bhagavatam, sitting there and hearing from Sukadeva Goswami, and Prabhupada is narrating this to her. He said, I will not want to trade my present life for anything better than this. That means she said, I don't want to feel that, what if I was pain-free? What if I did not have cancer? I don't want to trade this. Because this experience of cancer has brought me so much close to Srimad Bhagavatam and the words of my Guru Maharaj. So I don't want to trade this for anything else. That struck me. I said, that means Bhagavatam is so real. Now I have never felt like that by reading Bhagavatam. I hear Bhagavatam sometimes and I read Bhagavatam sometimes, but I don't feel like this. But for her, that experience was from her soul. Her soul was experiencing the nectar of Krishna and Krishna Katha. The nectar was so overwhelming in her heart that it completely subdued the painful experience of dying from cancer. She transcended the painful experience of her disease within her, invalid body, but the actual deep and higher experience of the stories of Krishna. And that worked anytime better than morphine or anything else. So that is what is there. And that is what is there in store for us. That when we live a life of gratitude, then eventually when things go really bad, as they will, for most of us, things will not be, things will really sometimes turn very sour in our life. But if our heart has been nourished by this wholesomeness of Krishna consciousness, gratitude, right, then there are some things to be, even within that apparent bad thing, we will see the good thing and still be grateful for it. Right? There will be a bad thing, which is not according to our plans, according to vision, according to our estimation, which will be bad. But by that gratitude which you have, Krishna will give the intelligence to see the good in that bad also, because every bad has to have a good and every good has to have a bad. Because why? Because we are living in a world of duality. There is no absolute good in this world, there is no absolute bad in this world. Clear? Every good has inherent bad. Every bad is inherent good. Right? Vitamins are good. Everybody knows vitamins are good. But if you take a lot of vitamins, it's bad. It's called dumping syndrome. You dump your body with the vitamins, it can be very harmful to you. People keep taking supplements, vitamins. It's not going to become more healthier the more vitamins you take. It's not true. So everything good is there, but in everything good has to have a bad side. Right? Protein is good, but you take a lot of protein, you get cancer. So everything good has a bad and everything bad has a good. Right? So within that apparent bad, we will be able to see the good. Because that cancer may bring you closer to Krishna's devotees. And devotees will come closer to you. And you may have felt your life that devotees don't really love me. I mean, they are nice, but I wish they loved me more. But when you get a disease like that, you will see people who just flock around you to help you in any way. They will massage you, they will give you some money for buying your medicines, or speak Krishna Katha to you, or just caress you or scratch you on your back, because you can't scratch your back. It makes you feel good. Somebody scratching my back, or be there with you. Then you will really realize, this cancer has brought me closer to Krishna and Krishna's devotees, and you will see the good in that. And the gratitude of feeling closer to Krishna and Krishna's devotees will be a higher experience than the apparent disease which you are suffering from. So this gratitude quality is so very integral to the life of a practicing devotee. It's foundational quality. It is not just a detail, it's actually foundational. The Bhaktivedanta beach can only grow in a heart which is filled with gratitude. So let us pray for this. Let us pray for this. Let us be conscious. We can make our own list, as I said before, of the things we have. Our eyes, don't forget our lacrimal glands. Don't forget the saliva which you have in your mouth. It's all a gift of God. Right? It's all a gift of God. The hair you have, while you have it, take care of it. You lose your hair, wow. You go to a trichologist for getting... Not trichologist and tricholgnani, trichologist, they can put back the gland, hair in your scalp from somewhere else. From here, put it here. They charge you a lot of money for that. Putting it from here to here. That's it. Per hair, they charge you 500 rupees. They said they will make a slit here, remove hair with the root. And from here, you bald here, you bald over this area. So, doctor, do something. This is looking very barren. Okay, you have hair on the side. We'll remove this from here. I'll put it here. So, different rates are there. Some people charge 2,000 per hair. Some people 1,000 per hair. If you really bargain, they may do 500 per hair also. And then travel. Okay, how much do you want to transfer? So at least you will need 2,000 hair to look something to fill up the space. This is a big business. Trichologist. Anyway, the transplant specialist. So while you have a hair, be grateful to Krishna. While you have your teeth in your jaws, be grateful to Krishna. You have your loved ones around you. You have your parents around you, be grateful. What is it being to be an anath, living in an orphanage home with no parents? You are not anath, you are sanath. Your parents love, mothers and fathers love, grandfathers, grandparents love. Oh, what a great gift of God is that. Right? What does it to be without a mother or a father? It's a terrible thing. But we have our parents, but how much are we grateful to them? Right? We are not. We just take it for granted. So in this way, we will be so much more living an enriched life as a Vaishnava with this one singular quality. They said that if you will end here, they said that if you want to pray, if you want to learn to pray, prayers, we just chanted Srimad, Brahma Samhita prayers. Beautiful, beautiful prayers. I'm sure all Vaishnavas love this. One of the finest prayers you can ever recite to Krishna is Brahma's prayers. Such a nice prayer. Every verse is so nice. So full of meaning. Prabhupada said is the essence of our theology of Krishna consciousness is the Brahma Samhita. That's what he says, the essence of our theology. It's the most beautiful prayers ever written by anybody. Right. But somebody cannot recite them, or even if you can recite them, so what? You can recite them. But then the best prayer is the prayer of being grateful. It's also a prayer. Once you are grateful, within your heart just pray, my dear Lord, I am grateful for this. Offer this prayer of gratitude. The finest prayer to the Lord is a prayer of being grateful. One of the biblical statements is there, oh dear Lord, thou art given me so many things. Please give me a grateful heart. It's a beautiful prayer. I read this statement years ago, and it struck me. This statement was a plaque lying in the library of Vaishnava Seva Prabhu on the first floor. And he had a library, many years ago on the first floor, there, behind. He had put a plaque there. I don't know where he got it from. He said, "My dear Lord, thou art given me so many things. Give me a grateful heart." Right? Because through that grateful heart, we will be able to perceive and experience and become aware of all the gifts of God, which are so unlimited and so beautiful. Right? So I'm grateful for getting a chance to speak to all of you and share some thoughts on this subject today. If there are any questions, we can take questions, or we just... Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for touching upon this sacred principle of gratitude. While you were speaking, I was getting a question in my mind that, we are also told many times that simply expressing, thank you is very good. At the same time, we should express our thank you to Krishna by doing something, some service.
Yes.
So as an expression of gratitude, many times, many preachers have this challenge that as an expression of gratitude, we are encouraged to preach, give Krishna consciousness to others and serve. So while doing that, because this world, there's so much suffering, people are going through so much trauma. Every day, you hear so much of negativity.
Yes.
Of this material world. So while hearing all that, there can be a tendency that you may forget the gifts you have got. In the sense, so much negativity mind is... And then you get... Actually, I remember getting exhausted after a kind of counseling session with some family. So many preachers have this experience that, it's challenging, it's exhausting. And at the same time, the next day when you are okay, fresh, then again the same meter continues. You hear so much negativity. So I wanted to know how can we maintain a grateful, or first of all cultivate and then maintain a grateful heart while taking on more and more responsibilities of this kind, where there's a lot of negative energy that we have to deal with.
I think that's why the Srimad Bhagavatam class is there. I guess one of the benefits on the emotional side, so we are emotional people, we are spiritual beings, but we have a strong emotional side to us. When we just hear the happy pastimes of Krishna, right? A lot of negativity is there in the world, and it will remain. I guess it will become increase even more. And as preachers, you may have to, people like yourself who are deep into helping people in this world, right? You're going to be encountering a lot of people with problems in student life. You're a student preacher. I'm sure students go through severe turmoils in their life, severe stresses in life, unimaginable stress these days. So then if you're just going to be dealing with that energy all the time, it will affect your service, because it will reduce your ability to give yourself to that person. A psychiatrist is one of the most difficult professions in this world, more than a cancer surgeon or physician or a pediatrician, whatever, because he's just so much negativity. Like Giriraj Prabhu, my friend, tells me that he deals with pain. He's an orthopedic surgeon, and everybody who comes to him is coming only for one symptom. People come to physician for maybe loose motions or pneumonia, or maybe blood from their mouth coming out, or maybe something else. But everyone comes to an orthopedic surgeon only for one symptom, and that is pain. It is just the most predominating thing in your mind, pain. It just matters where the pain is. It could be in your spine, could be in your cervical spine, it could be knee joint, could be ankle, but it is just pain they come for. And it draws a lot of negativity into him. And you can see he becomes very tired. After his consulting session, he just becomes so tired, exhausted. And then he has to go for a counseling meeting, maybe, or give a lecture somewhere or whatever. Right? So then what he does is, he goes to his hometown called Navsari. He just goes and stays with his parents and breathes the fresh air of the fields. He has a few fields there, and just breathes the fresh air. He decided to do this every month for 2 days. So he just goes there and because in the air, fresh air, there is a lot of positivity. In the open sky, there's a lot of positivity. In the green grass, in Bombay you cannot see anything green, right? Nothing is green here. There's no green color here practically. A green t-shirt, maybe somebody's wearing a green t-shirt. Other than that, there is nothing green here. But green, you just go out of Virar and see, wow, you can see green. There is something green here. It is energizing. Every color has its own value, right? In medicine also they teach, every color has its value. So green also is very enriching color. Every color has its, emotional and psychological benefits. So like that, every devotee, especially a high-pressure devotee like the way you're saying, will have to, for long-term survival in his service, have to figure out his own means by which he actually can sustain himself by giving himself positive experiences. It can be just, could be anything, could be anything not detrimental to Krishna consciousness, of course. Cannot be sitting in front of the television and, I'm just unwinding, just... Then I will catch you, oh, come on, I'll unwind you, So not like that, not going into Maya to getting unwound. But some nice music, Nitai Prabhu or, Bibi Govind Maharaj, some nice bhajans, some nice song, Anand Nitai Prabhu, whoever your favorites are. Or reading some story which is not really required to philosophically analyze that story, what does Krishna really mean here, What is Prabhupada really trying to say? You're not getting it. If you don't have to do all that brain work, you're just reading Leelamrit, Prabhupada Leelamrit, how wonderful is Prabhupada, Jai, Jai, Jai. Just keep reading it. Something as soft as that, just Leelamrit. Prabhupada's, various books he's written. Something like that. Or just sitting with a devotee and just having a nice chat with him. Or just doing nothing sometimes. Just sleeping. Just sleep it out, Really, sleep is a re-energizer. Our batteries get charged in the nature's way. Our batteries, the fuel we need to work for the whole day gets pumped into your body during sleep. Without sleep, there is no fuel. You can eat a lot of food, but it's the source of your energy. The food you eat is not a source of your energy. The ability to utilize that food comes when you take proper rest. If you don't take the rest, the food will not work. All your protein powders will not work. All the protein, what they call, shakes. You won't be able to, shake any limb of your body if you don't sleep. So like that. So we have to figure out those things we need to do, right? And especially I would say the most enriching is these stories. They're so nice. Just relish. Just sometimes do it for relishing's sake. Don't have to learn lessons from that for that time being, What does K.C. Demon represent? What is Bhaktivedanta Thakur talking about? What anartha is he talking about? We had Sharbuja Prabhu giving us this class. Who gave? Shubhalas Prabhu gave us the class the other Sunday. Beautiful, right? And I relished it. I was sitting right here. I was relishing every bit of it, right? And of course I learned the lessons also. But I'm not saying that we should not learn that. But sometimes you just want to hear about Kaliya without all its purports. Only Kaliya. Only Kaliya. Krishna is jumping, dancing, singing, and he's doing all this for the gopis and the gopas and everything else, and he jumps up into the sky. Kaliya is a very big fellow. Kaliya is very big. He's bigger than that Godzilla. That movie was that Godzilla. When I was a young boy, there was a movie called as Godzilla. But he is extremely high. He is several thousand feet high. Kaliya. And Krishna jumps. He jumps and he goes to demigod planet practically. He sees them and he comes down. And as he comes down, he twirls in a particular way, And he is not just to land on this hood. He's land on that hood, right? And he just aims himself properly, right? Just relish that. Why is Krishna landing on that hood only? What hood? What another does a hood represent? Leave me alone. Like that. So just sometimes we hear stories, just for relishing Krishna's beauty, his sweetness, his flute playing, and because that is what Krishna has come here for. Jivera karane ashiya prapanche lila koile suvistara. He's just come us to attract our hearts with his sweetness. One of the finest songs is this Madhuram Madhurebhyopi, right? This Madhuram, Adharam Madhuram, this Gamanam Madhuram, Hasya Madhuram. Everything is Madhuram. This is such a beautiful song for devotees to relish, right? His eyes are beautiful. His smile is beautiful. His gait is beautiful. His voice is so sweet. Everything about Krishna is Madhuradipati, Akhilam Madhuram, Akhil. Everything about Krishna is sweet. Let's relish Krishna's sweetness. And all the bitterness of this world will become insignificant. Because that becomes such an overwhelming experience in our heart that everything else becomes pale in front of that. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. There are announcements from the base. Bhaktivedanta Academy for